Hello everyone, welcome to the yellow chair. And yes, I'm sorry I haven't vlogged for a while. I just haven't really been feeling it. But today is a good day and I've been wanting to vlog for ages, and I've been having lots of ideas for vlogs and I've been making little notes and writing stuff down. But I just haven't really felt like sitting on here and chatting away. So anyway, today I do, so let's have a chat. So excuse my brew, I've got coffee on the go. So today we're going to do a show and tell video for everything I really made up to the end of October. I did say in my last sewing plans video that I'm probably a bit crap at plans because I don't follow them through. I have millions of ideas about what I want to do, what I want to make, and then I won't do any of it. And I did predict that, but I did do some of it. So not everything is quite in order, but it doesn't matter, does it? The first item that I want to talk about is not actually, I didn't make it in October, I made it back in the summer, but when I did my my last massive everything I've made up to now sewing vlog, I left it off, and I don't know why I left it off. It was probably in the wash, but it really annoyed me that I'd forgotten to mention it because it was the dress I've probably worn, excuse me, that I've probably worn the most. And it's very unusual for me because it's a midi length, so for me that comes sort of halfway down my calves because I am short, and it's made from yellow scuba that I got from FC Fabric Studio. The pattern is the Kate jersey dress by Simple Sew Patterns, and it is a piece of, it's a really great pattern, really easy to sew. The only thing that turned out to be a bit of a nightmare was there's a facing for the neckline, and scuba does not like facings, and I think next time I'm going to have to try and do binding or a neckband of some sort. But it's still kind of, when I'm wearing it, it's sometimes you can see at the back it's wanting to sit up, it's wanting to sort of come free, and it's still, when I'm wearing it, sometimes you can sort of see the front bit peeking out a bit, even though I've understitched it and pressed it like till I'm blue in the face. But anyway, I wanted to mention that just because I love it so much. So in my last sew and tell, I said I'd got a subscription to Wear Lemonade, and I was wanting to make the Fiona dungarees, and ta-da, I'm wearing them. I made two pairs. The first pair was, sorry, there's a fluff on it. These ones, which are in purple jumbo cord from Fabricland, which was gorgeous fabric, but I think I mentioned actually the dye ran the hell out of it, and it's continuing to do so. So I'm having to put colour catchers in every wash, but it's working. Nothing else has come out purple yet. So this was my first pair. So these were like my toile. I did these as a bit of a sew along with my friend Chantel, who is at I Seem So Happy on Instagram, and we both, when I said that I was making this pattern, she said, oh, I've got that one and I want to do it too. So I said, right, let's do it together. And it was really good because there were one or two elements of it that weren't explained very well. The patterns are all in English, but they're translated from French, and they're not translated terribly well. So there is an instruction that says something like, pin the corner pocket on the pocket. You know, it's just like, oh, that's gibberish. I mean, you can pretty much work out, it's a simple pattern, so you can work out what you need to do, but the waistband is actually a bit complicated because you make two waistbands, an outer one and then an inner one, which is like the facing, and the way that you stitch them, you have to turn them out, and I couldn't get my head around it, and there was a couple of nights that me and Chantal were texting each other going, what the hell? But anyway, we got there in the end, and I also want to thank Handmade by Dixie Tulip, Mel, because she did a very helpful post about her Fiona dungarees, and it was that prompted me to make mine. So it's always nice when you're inspired by somebody else in the community, isn't it? Oh, by the way, if the light's not great, sorry about that. It's because it's evening, and you know, it's going so, here in the UK it's going dark at probably, well, it's 4 o'clock now, and I've just drawn the curtains, and so if you want to vlog, you've only really got like the morning to do it in. So I thought, well, I want to strike while the iron's hot. so I hope you can see everything okay. So I made 2 pairs of Fiona dungarees, and I gotta say I've worn them absolutely loads. I'll post a picture now of me actually wearing them because you can't really get the full length. You can a bit. That's the back view. It was the first time, it's not a very flattering view of my bum, is it? Sorry about that. It was the first time I'd inserted an exposed zip, and oh, that's not in the pattern, by the way. I think it's is it a concealed zip or a lack zip in the pattern? I don't know, just decided to put in an exposed zip, and yeah, I really liked it. I was really pleased with myself. This fabric is actually the twill that I got from the Goldhawk Road, and it was very much a sort of sand colour, and I made these and they looked really like, you know, like Dickies workwear, and I thought to myself, not quite sure if I'm going to get a lot of wear out of them, and so I just used one of those Dylon machine dye pods, which are so easy to use, and they've come out lovely. They've come out the sort of mustard colour that I originally wanted. So these mustard dungarees and my purple dungarees, I've worn them loads. I love the pattern. The only thing that I'm annoyed about is for both fabrics I only had about like 1.5 meters or less, so both of them are really cropped in the leg, which just means that I can't really wear them now now it's getting colder, unless I wear kind of really long tights underneath, because you know, they're culottes, and so I don't want to wear them with nothing on my legs because it'll just be really cold. So I will definitely make the Fiona dungarees again, and make them with a full length leg. Right, on to the next item. This is a vintage pattern, a vintage simplicity pattern that doesn't look anything like the packet illustration you'll be able to see. It's these lovely dainty sort of 1960s women mincing around wearing like a lovely day dress, and what I've actually come up with, I'll post some pictures of me wearing it, is a very slouchy sort of sweatshirt type cocoon sort of dress, which is fine because actually that's what I wanted. When I was looking for a pattern, I tried to self-draft a pattern for this and found out actually pattern drafting is a lot harder than you think. Eventually I had to abandon that idea, and I went through all my patterns to find basically a loose shift dress, and I found this one, and I think it was in a vintage size. Yeah, it was in a vintage size 16, and I thought, well, I don't know if that equates to like a size 12 of today. And because it's vintage, you've got no idea whatsoever about what ease is in it. I did measure the pattern pieces and thought, okay, well, this is going to work, and it does work. It fits me really well. I think that I shall take it in a bit because it feels a little bit loose for me, but I think maybe in a more sweatshirt, this is in a ponte, but in a more sweatshirt like fabric, I think it is fine as loose as it is, because I think that's just the style, and you just wear it with opaque tights or leggings or whatever. So I was really happy with this. The only thing, oh, it's a really quick make as well. It's actually got French, are they called French darts? I don't know if they're French darts or just waist darts. I can't remember if they're curved or not. They don't look curved, do they? If I made it again, I'd definitely add inseam pockets. I didn't want to add inseam pockets in this because I thought that because of the colour, I thought they'd look a bit bulky and noticeable. But I think in a style of dress like this, you really do want somewhere to put your hands. Yeah, so the only thing I wouldn't do next time is I definitely would do something different with the neckline. These knits do just not want to sit down with the facing, because I've actually I've overlocked that on and then understitched it, and it just doesn't want to sit flat. If you've found a foolproof way of getting facings to sit down on knit fabrics, then please answer us on a postcard underneath. Oh, and that yellow fabric was a ponte that I got from Chantel's D-Stash. So I went a bit mad on Coco's this last month, I think because the weather was getting cooler. I got this velour from pound fabrics. It was actually £2 a metre, but I really liked it. It's stretch velour, and I thought, ooh, comfy. And I made myself a Coco dress, and I actually interfaced the lining with, I don't know if it's called interfacing when you do this, but I added an extra piece of scrap fabric. It's actually some scuba or something inside the neckline so that it would sit a bit and be a bit more kind of chunky, because I thought, because of this fabric, I thought it might flop, and I didn't want it to flop. I wanted it to stand up. So there aren't any pictures of me wearing this dress because I haven't worn it very much, and I don't know why, because I'm holding it up now and I'm thinking, oh, it's really nice. I like the colour, I like the polka dots, but it's a bit loose on me, and I think for me to wear something like this as a day dress, I would probably, as loose as it is at the moment, I'd only really wear it in the house, right? And if I'm in the house, I wouldn't be mincing about in a dress. It's going to be dungarees or pyjamas. So it kind of isn't fit. It isn't really sitting anywhere in my rota of things that I would wear. So I think I might chop it into a top, and then I would definitely wear it out with jeans, with skinny jeans. And then I think I'll probably get more wear out of it. The other thing that I've been going mad for during October has been, so Chantal is at I Seem So Happy, and I feel like I'm fangirling about her because I mention her in every video. And then her friend Louise, who is at @OLiverpoolLou on Instagram. So both of them ran a Instagram challenge called Stitched with a Twist, which is not easy to say if you've got a lisp. So they asked me to be an ambassador for it, which I think is really sweet, because now I feel posh, like I can offer people Ferrero Rocher. So the kind of theme of Stitched with a Twist is to take an ordinary pattern and basically mash it up in some way to make it your own, so make it different. Obviously, to some extent, we all do everything individually anyway, because you make adjustments to patterns when you sew them, because that's the whole point of you sewing your own clothes. But the idea was to kind of either embellish it in some way or add some embroidery or something that makes it very much your own. So it was such fun, because it really kind of, I think I'm the sort of person that wants to do that all the time, and then this kind of like concentrated my mind and really got me to do it. So the first one that I did is another Coco. So I've got 3 Cocos to show you this month. So there's the one that I've just shown you. This is the next one. And this is a lovely little dress. I shall post a picture of me wearing it because you'll be able to see it better. And it's in this really nice quilted ponte fabric, which is from another one of Chantal's D-stashes. That woman has good fabrics. And this came out of my aborted attempts to try and draft my own cocoon dress. I was kind of using the Coco as like, for proportions, as like a base pattern to try and work out my own pattern from. And in the end, I just thought, oh, I'm not getting anywhere. Like, I'd taken apart and sewn this dress together about 3 times, and it was a bit of a mess. And so I thought, I'm just going to make myself a Coco. So I made myself a Coco body, and then the sleeves actually belong to a Mccalls sweatshirt pattern that I'll post a picture of. And they've got these gorgeous, enormous pleats, and they just fall really nicely with the Coco, with the dress. The kind of triangular shape of the arm really echoes the flare of the skirt, and it just works really, really well as a garment, and it's really nice, and I'm dead pleased with it. So that is my second Coco. My third Coco I also stitched with a twist, and again I'm super happy with it. Here she is, the baby. So this is a Coco body with a Coco neckline. It's in leopard print ponte with a big old bow on the sort of neckline shoulder, and then the sleeves are puffed sleeves going into I think they're called a bishop sleeve when it's like that. I mean, I call them bell sleeves, but bell sleeves might be something different. A big old puffy gathered sleeve with, and then I've put a leopard skin cuff on the bottom, and I really like it for a number of reasons. I think the colour suits me really well. I like the leopard skin embellishment. The leopard print embellishment is right up my street. It's my style. The ponte that I used was left over from another project. I had less than a metre, and I literally couldn't have done anything else with it. This was it left tiny little scraps, so I used every bit of it, and I was really pleased that I just managed to use, you know, 100% of, it wasn't quite zero waste, but minimal waste for a sewing project, so I managed to make that out of it. And so those are my stitched with a twist items. They're my 3 Cocos. The other thing I sewed was this lion jumper that I'm wearing, which I've worn and worn and worn, and I made it, and it was the first time I'd used the lion pattern, and I made it using some cheap, it's called sports jersey, but it's just loop back sweatshirt fabric, but it's quite thin. It's not the best quality, but I got it from the Textile Centre, and it was, I think it was £2 a metre, and so I thought I'll use it for the first one, because then if I mess it up it doesn't matter. And I kind of wish that it was a slightly better quality fabric that I'd made it in, because I'm wearing it so much it's getting a lot of washers, and eventually I'm sure it's going to fade and fall apart, but not for a while yet. So because it's black, I put the, oh, there you can see, I put those snaps on, and they're black so you can't really see them, but I've got quite I've got plans for quite a few other ones that I'm going to put contrast colour snaps on. But basically I made it the same time as these dungarees, and I like the silhouette of the bib top and then the puffed sleeve shoulders. Really like it. So yeah, I'll definitely have more of those in my future. Now this next item I don't have any pictures of yet because I've not worn it yet. It was a bit of a, what would I call it, impulse sew. So I went away last month to a comedy festival in Aberystwyth, and while I was there obviously I had a rummage around the charity shops, and I found this piece of gingham, and I'm pretty sure it's upholstery fabric. It's off-white and black gingham, and there was, I don't know, about 3/4 of a metre there, and it was about £1.50, and I really liked it. And I found this vintage pattern that I'll pop a picture of now, and I thought it's basically an A-line skirt, but it's got these cool pockets in the lower part of the skirt, and it's got these cool braces. So the reason I haven't worn it yet is because I've made it and I had a real nightmare putting the buttonholes in, because my machine does not like buttonholes. If anybody else has got a Janome DKS100 or a DKS30 or any one of those sort of computerized fairly recent machines and has a lot of problems with the buttonholes, then just let me know, because I need to feel that I'm not alone in my pain. I think it's quite, I understand it's quite a common thing. Basically, you do your buttonhole in your test thing and it works fine, and then halfway through the first or second real one it just decides to freestyle it and it goes off on its own mission, and you've got half a buttonhole up here and then the other half down here, and it's really galling, because obviously you're putting buttonholes last and it's a really good way of knackering up your project. So anyway, it took me ages to do the buttonholes in here. I've put the braces on, and the braces are really too long, and I need to take about 4 inches off, hem the bottoms of them and then re-buttonhole them, and I've just been basically procrastinating about doing that. But as soon as I've done that I shall definitely wear it. I want to wear it with a little red knit jumper that I'm in the middle of making at the moment. I'm in the middle of making a Freya little 3/4 sleeve turtleneck Freya out of some cherry red ribbed fabric, and that is going to look really, really nice with that. I think that is all for my October sewing, but November's underway and I've already made quite a few things, so in my next video, in my November sew and tell, I know that there will be quite a few cool things for me to show you. So I hope you've enjoyed this little whistle-stop tour through my October makes. If you enjoyed this video, then please press thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more, because I've only got about 25 subscribers, and I guess at the moment I kind of think, is it really worth, am I shouting into the void putting these videos online, spending ages editing them, because I don't know, maybe people aren't interested in it, which is fine, but I probably won't continue. So yes, if you like it, then please subscribe. And I hope you're all well. Have a lovely November and keep sewing.